Sup, YouTube? Alright, saw an article today that was saying that Cleveland Cavaliers superstar LeBron James, who we all know is uh, soon to become a free agent, and there's always this speculation. It's the third time in his career that he's been a free agent. And this time I'm not really sweating. You know what I'm saying? We all were caught up in that crap in 2010 and then to a lesser extent in 2014. But, this year, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to pay as much attention to it, man. But at the same time, I feel I'm obligated to do that because I have to keep making videos. So, this is what I saw as far as the latest is that supposedly James is trying to find reasons to stay with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, which is contrary to reports and the perception that James is pretty much all but gone from the Cleveland Cavaliers, being that he feel, the narrative is that he feels that though they can't provide a team that would be a challenge to the Golden State Warriors. And I can understand that because all the great players, are synonymous with a franchise, even if they didn't play there the entire career, excuse me. Um, Larry Bird, Celtics. Bill Russell, Celtics. Bob Cousy, Celtics. Even though he played 7 games with what is now known as the Sacramento Kings. At the time they were known as I think it was still the Cincinnati Royals. Um, Magic Johnson, Lakers. Kareem, Lakers, but also the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, so prime years Bucks going into the Lakers, but Showtime that wasn't exactly prime Kareem, but you know what I'm saying, still. But you get the gist of what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Of course, Michael the Bulls, Isaiah the Detroit Pistons. So I guess LeBron, being a great player, as great as he is, I can understand him wanting to finish his career with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, he brought them a title in 2016, the first ever championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise, the first championship in 52 years at the time for any major sports franchise in the city of Cleveland. I think the last time they had a title in the city of Cleveland was when Jim Brown helped to lead the Cleveland Browns over, I think, the Baltimore Colts in the NFL title game, which preceded the Super Bowl. Now, the thing about this that is precarious for Cavalier fans is that I believe the relationship between Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert and James is fractured yet again. It's always been, in my opinion, somewhat fractured since James left the first time in 2010. I think he doesn't really trust James. I would imagine Dan Gilbert probably sees LeBron as a little bit of a prima donna. I'm not calling him a prima donna for all you guys who are LeBron James fans. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you what I think he probably sees James as. Most of these owners don't like to kowtow to the star players. You know what I'm saying? And also, but the main thing is that you have all of these contracts that are, uh, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of these guys have, these big contracts, J.R. Smith, Thompson, Love, and it's sort of, you know what I'm saying, like it really ties the Cavaliers' hands as far as what they can do to improve this team. And I don't think anybody wants to, you could try to do some trades, to bring in some guys, but none of these guys are really that attractive, as far as the type of people, that you want to bring in. Of course, Kawhi Leonard wants to be traded, but I can't see the Spurs trading Kawhi for Kevin Love. I don't think that's an even trade, in my opinion. Although there's some question as to Kawhi Leonard's health. But that still will not be an even trade, in my opinion. J.R. Smith, I don't know what was going to go on with that, you know what I'm saying? So I think all in all, man, it's going to take some miracles. But I don't see LeBron staying with Cleveland, man. I think he's going to try, but ultimately I think he's going to move on. I think his drive to win a title is going to be too strong. I don't think Cleveland can really do much. Also, I remember hearing that Kawhi for some reason, doesn't want to play with LeBron James. At least that's something I've heard through the rumor mill. Well, not heard, but I've read through the rumor mill that he doesn't want to play with LeBron James, which honestly may not even be up to him, because I think the Spurs don't want to trade Kawhi to a Western Conference contender for obvious reasons. And when I look at it, I think the most likely scenario is him being traded to the Boston Celtics for Kawhi Leonard. For Kyrie Irving. That's a possibility. Cleveland, I don't know, man. Ultimately, I still lean toward James leaving Cleveland. LA is the sexy pick for everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's the team that everybody wants to just construct in their minds that, hey, let's build a super team in LA, whatever. But my thing is this. If people are going to criticize Kevin Durant for, in my opinion, running to the Golden State Warriors, and I still don't like the fact that he ran there, but he has the right to do that, but I still think it's weak. That's just me, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking as a basketball fan. I think it's weak for a guy to join the team that just, you know what I'm saying, that they just had a 3-1 lead against. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just come from a different generation. I think that's weak. Okay. But at the same time, Durant can do whatever Durant wants to do. But you still have to live with the criticism that people are going to have. I think if James did try to form some super team in LA or whatever, that would be a little weak. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. But then again, these players, it's a whole different era. These guys are doing shit that I never thought I would see happen in the NBA. I mean, it's the type of shit that I do on NBA 2K18, you know what I'm saying? Like, build like these super teams where I have all the great players on one team and shit. You know, like fucking, I play with the Bulls team, they might have fucking Artis Gilmore, Nate Thurman, fucking Rodman, Horace Grant, my fucking front court, you know what I'm saying? Pau Gasol, even though he'll play 1 year with the Bulls or 2 years with the Bulls, but Prime Jordan, Pippen, goddamn Jerry Sloan, fucking Mike Create, Norm Van Leer since now in the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? Put goddamn Chet Walker on the team and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just build a super team and shit. I do shit like that. Just because it's fun. So, but you know, I didn't think that would be something going on in the NBA, but hey, whatever. But so what you guys think, man? Do you think that LeBron should try to stay in Cleveland? And do you think that he will ultimately go elsewhere? I think that LeBron, I think the most likely scenario is James signing with either the Houston Rockets or the Philadelphia 76ers. I've heard that James desires to play off the ball for a change, supposedly. I guess he's tired of having all of that responsibility. I guess he wants to focus more on scoring. Although he would still be a dangerous passer. But, you know, in that scoring role, it would kind of mimic the role that, say, Jordan and Kobe had with their teams. Where, although there were times when they would play make, but for the most part, especially from the championships on for Jordan, uh, it was no longer he was no longer duty bound to be the primary playmaker for their team. So anyway, the point is, if he doesn't want to be a playmaker, look, you got James Harden, and they could possibly get Chris Paul on that team, keep Chris Paul on that team, excuse me, the Houston Rockets. I don't know how it's going to work as far as salaries. And then with Philly, you got Ben Simmons. I think that would work better with Ben Simmons handling the ball rather than LeBron, because Ben Simmons is not a spot up guy. You know, you can't rely on Ben Simmons to be some spot up shooter in that offense, because his jumper is non-existent right now. Well, it's very unreliable. Well, no, fuck it, it's non-existent. So that's not going to work. But tell me what you guys think.